All right, guys, we are back. It is a special edition of the show, Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025, MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin. That's Big Marcel. And we're here to talk about the UFC Hall of Fame, which a discussion we wanted to have for a while now, Marcel. And it actually makes a lot of sense to do it now because they just did the recent induction. So the timing worked out. Our friend John B from the Discord reminded us about it. So originally I wanted to do like a tier list kind of video, but I was kind of fooling around with EVMux, and it was a little difficult to do. Especially because it's hard to see that other screen on here. So unfortunately we couldn't do it, but we're going to have a good discussion here about the Hall of Fame. So Marcel, I know you wanted to talk about some of the guys that should be in it, shouldn't be in it. And while I set it up, just brief thoughts on the recent Hall of Fame announcements before we get into the new ones. What'd you think of the ones this past weekend?
I mean, Amanda Nunes makes sense, right? That's Vitor Belfort made a lot of sense to me as well. Greg Peligian is like, for them, it's like a contributor, so yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, if he is pretty big for them for the Ultimate Fighter, I understand that.
Yep.
The fight, Gastelum Adesanya, was a great fight. I have no problem with it.
Let me ask you really quick. What do you think about Gastelum with the trophy saying he's a Hall of Famer and everything? What thoughts?
Yeah, I don't really buy that. For me, it's like the fight is the Hall of Fame, and you're a part of the fight. But like individual Hall of Fame or something else, then Dan Duhucho is also an Hall of Fame.
He is.
So for me, it's kind of different, but okay, whatever. Whatever makes them happy. Who else was there as well?
Robbie Lawler, right?
Robbie Lawler, yeah, that made sense. Mark Kerr for me, and I think they just put him in because the movie is coming out. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't even on every advertisement they did for the Hall of Fame. He wasn't on it, so I feel like they really put him in last minute. But
let's talk about Mark Kerr. I think that's a good way to start this, to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
Well, I have no problem with Mark. By the way, James did a cool interview with him. He seems like a cool guy. I have no issue with him. I don't think he was natural, but a lot of guys weren't back in the day. I think he's one of the weakest Hall of Famers, though. I really do, man. I don't know if I would have inducted him. I think it's kind of like this is almost like a marketing ploy. Do you kind of agree with me?
Yeah.
I'll pull up Mark's record. I'm going to do that right now. Give me a sec. So let's see here. Share screen. Oh, don't want to share that tab, Mark. So I don't want to share the Jessica and Draws pictures. I'll share Mark. I think you guys can see, right? Let me see it right here. There we go. So that's what I'm saying. It's a little difficult to see. Let me see if I can. It's hard to see on here. A little better. Like, nope, that's not what I want. Nope, that's not what I want. A little easier like that. I don't even know. It's not that great.
Yeah, do it like that. Put me a little
like this. Little Marcel, big little Marcel. So you look at Mark's record, 50. So his record overall, I mean, like there's guys. Like Maurice Smith actually has a negative 500 record. He's in the Hall of Fame,
and it's also in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
And again, it's.
But
fun,
he was a champion,
Yeah. Mark was a UFC champion. He did win a tournament. You guys can see this a little bit. Can you see it, Marcel?
No, I can't.
It's too hard to see. I know this is why I couldn't do the tier video thing. Let me see here.
Just name it, dude. I mean.
Okay, I'll take it off. I think it's too hard to see, guys. I apologize. This is exactly why I couldn't do the tier thing on this fucking EVMux, but too cheap to pay for StreamYard. So there we go. Mark Kerr, his best win is Ensign Inoue. Would you agree?
I don't have his records in front of me, dude. So maybe if you say so,
it is. I mean, it really because he has like most guys, and Paul the Polar Bear Varlins would be his other big win. Not sure. He won his record in the UFC is 4-0. He won 2 tournaments, 14 and 15. He did win 2 tournaments. Okay, so that's hard to do. I mean, he won 2 fights in one night twice. His record for Pride also counts because it's the UFC Hall of Fame, but they own Pride. So I think his record for Pride counts. Would be 6. His record in Pride is 6, 4 and 1 no contest.
I think we should just go by if we think he should be Hall of Fame or not just reading up every single stat line. I mean,
we're not. I mean, but like I just think this was a weaker because the other ones are all no-brainers, like Nunes, Lawler. They're all no-brainers. This one's I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure about this one. So again, it's nothing against Mark himself because I think he's a good dude, but I don't know. I think this is like it's a movie thing. They're going to be like UFC Hall of Fame or Mark Kerr, like the movie, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's one that I'm just not sure about. But yeah, I just wanted to. I think it was a good way to start the discussion. I want to get this question from Tristan. you guys think you have to be a champion in the UFC Modern Hall of Fame wing? There's Donald Cerrone's in it. He's not a champion. He never won a belt. I think most people thought Cerrone was the weakest guy. I think right now
Stephen Bonner. Stephen Bonner.
The fight with Forrest is.
Or with the fight only.
I could have sworn that Stephen himself was inducted at one point, but the fight with Forrest is in the Hall of Fame. So technically he's in. Now, I want to talk about guys that should be in the Hall of Fame. I want to get your thoughts. To me, the biggest snub right now, so he's in the Hall of Fame for his fight with Shogun. But I think Dan Henderson not being in is crazy. Do you agree?
I mean, they also include Pride, and he got 2 belts in Pride, right? So
it's crazy to me. This is the biggest snub right now. Dan Henderson is one of the best fighters of all time.
He's not the biggest, in my opinion, but he's one of the. Yeah.
Okay, well, I know that I know what your biggest is, and I'm going to say it in 1 second. But if you look at, I mean, he's just a no-brainer, dude. Like everything, and also the Strikeforce fights count too, I believe.
Yeah.
So he beat Fedor, and he beat all these other guys, Bisping and Wanderlei, all these guys. Most of Dan's fights are in Pride and UFC and Strikeforce. So
I agree with you.
He's the biggest snub right now, in my opinion. I think he's one of the best fighters of all time. I don't think he gets enough love. Now again, was he all natural? No, but let's be honest, half these guys in the Hall of Fame are not. So his fight with Shogun is, so technically he's a Hall of Famer. But Robbie Lawler's fight with Rory was also in the Hall of Fame. Then they put him in by himself. So
and he was able to take a punch by Doc Heffernan. So I mean,
yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Let's see. I think you could be in the Hall of Fame, not win a belt if you have a long career like Cowboy. Yeah, I mean Cowboy is in it. And we'll talk about some other guys in a second. Frank Mir's not in it. I think Frank should be as well. I think Frank could get in the next year or two. I think he'll probably be in the next year or two class. Do you agree with that, Frank Mir?
You know, I'm a big fan. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean Frank should be in. I'm gonna guess, and I had it actually listed here. Frank Shamrock would be your biggest sub. Yeah. Sure. So talk about Frank.
Frank is one of the most complete fighters early on in the UFC. I think he was like really good on the ground. Stand up was really good. I think he defended the belt 4 or 5 times. I think 4 times, and after that he retired. He came back to strike for us after that, but he almost lost to Tito Ortiz, I think, and then he still beat him.
That's a great fight, by the way. If you guys haven't seen that fight, UFC 22, Frank Shamrock versus Tito Ortiz, it won Fight of the Year in 1999. It's an amazing fight. He out-cardioed Tito. It was a great fight. But yeah, I keep going. Keep talking about Frank.
Yeah, amazing fighter, I think. You know, he also had, before his UFC time, he was in Pancrase in Japan with Boss Rudin, with Ken Shamrock. Maury Smith was also there. Yep. We're like the early pioneers, you know. And,
is Boss in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, yeah, Boss is amazing. I mean, I love Boss, so icon of the sport. And then Rory says, like you said, so some of those guys from the early days of Pancrase are in the Hall of Fame, which is great to see because those guys were like legends. Dana doesn't like Frank, and that's why he's not in, right? Because there's no voting. This isn't the Baseball Hall of Fame. Like the media, no one asked me or Marcel our opinion. Not that they would, anyways. But
by the way, what DXJC says that they ask him and he didn't want to. They shouldn't even ask him. They should just induct him. And if he wants to come, he comes. If he doesn't want to come, he doesn't come. You know, Anderson didn't came to the UFC when he got inducted. So
it's a great point. I mean, to be honest, it's actually really sad that Anderson didn't even go to the Hall of Fame ceremony. Is Lorenzo Fertitta in the Hall of Fame? I'm gonna check right now. We're talking about it. Let me see. List of UFC.
But Myra always says, but I don't know Fertitta.
I'm gonna check right now. 1 sec. Fertitta. Lorenzo's not in. Lorenzo's gonna be next year, I would think.
Maybe both Frank and Lorenzo.
Yeah, they should be in it. I mean,
of course.
Eventually Dana will be too, obviously, but Frank obviously is important. I think Lorenzo Fertitta is one of the most important people in the history of the sport. You know, so it's kind of a shame he's not in it. He should be in it right now. Chris, what's up, man? Glad to have you here.
What's this true, Fertitta?
Hey, man, that's awesome, dude. I appreciate you being a teacher, dude. Oh, you're in California. I was just there, man. That was awesome. I love your state, buddy. If you guys discussed a raid, would you pick a 55? Yeah, we did talk about Bircha. I said Topuria, but Marcel was kind of on the fence. So
yeah, I'm 50-50 on it. I think
the Abu Dhabi card is definitely better than the 318. They're paying more money, I guess, or something. That 318 card is not that good. Yeah, I was thinking about this too. Bella Mir, right? Like she's going to be in. She'll put in the UFC, I would think, at one point, right, Bella? So then I think they'll put the dad in at maybe the same time. Ian Freeman probably won't be in the Hall of Fame. I know his daughter Kennedy's in the UFC now, but Ian probably not UFC Hall of Fame caliber.
He beat Frank Mir, right?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? But again, that was in England, wasn't it? I think,
it was in England. It was the first English event, Royal Albert Hall. Yeah.
All right, here's some other guys I was going to talk about. So there was a bunch, but Diaz brothers, do they get in together?
Listen, I think a lot of people think they should be in. On the other hand, if you put them in, you can put so many other guys
Yeah,
also in it.
no belts, but they're icons of the sport.
I agree. Yeah.
I think if they go in, you put them in as a pair.
The funny thing is, like, I would almost compare them to Robbie Lawler-esque, but Robbie Lawler actually won a belt, and defended it. But they both never did, so.
Robbie won a belt. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Jim Miller is another big one that people are really. Nick was a Strikeforce champ. That's true.
And WEC.
Yeah,
both.
yeah. I don't mind Nick going in. I think, but again, I'd put them in as a pair. I would. Jim Miller is a big name that people talk about when they talk about Hall of Fame. I think Jim's getting in, and he's never going to be a champ, obviously, but he has the most. He has a lot of records, most fights of all time. I think most finishes of all time. So to me, Jim's a lock. And I know people will think that that's kind of crazy, but I think he's an actual lock. Do you agree with me?
Locke is crazy, I think.
He's getting in.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Most wins of all time in the UFC.
Yeah, but the Locke is crazy, dude. I mean,
bro, he has the most wins, the most fights, the most finishes. Like,
yeah, but the Locke is crazy. The Locke is crazy. I think he probably gets, but
yeah. Actually, sorry, he's second in finishes. Charles is actually first by 1.
Okay.
Charles is 20, Jim is 19. But yeah, as the years go on, there'll be these guys with long. Like, I'll ask you a question. Like, so I think Miller will. Marcel's on the fence. Neil Magny. Does Neil Magny get in the Hall of Fame? He's up there too with wins. Does he get in?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But the thing with Neil is, like, he doesn't finish fights. That's the thing. That's the difference for me. Jim finished fights. Neil didn't really finish fights. He finished a few fights, but really, if you look at the most wins of all time, I mean, Neil is he's up there, man. He really is up there now, and he's not done yet. So. But then you start talking about, like, guys with longevity. You also have, like, Brad Tavares. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Stipe Miocic, lock, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Khabib's in already. Jon Jones. Will Jon Jones get in next year? That's my question.
If he is free to go to the ceremony.
I think he gets in next year. I think they got to start inducting more people, if anything, because the sport, there's a lot of people that are snubbed right now, and they have to start, getting them in. John, I think he's going to go in next year. I think that's the right thing to do. He's the best fighter probably of all time, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. Do you guys think they ever get their act together, open up physical Hall of Fame? They should. Right now, it's just like part of, like, the apex, isn't it? It's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Jones a few years? I mean, just put him in. Like, put him in. Well, he might come back. Well, Aldo got inducted. Was it this year or last year?
Last year.
And he fought last year. So,
yeah. Good question, Tristan. By the way, I have no idea.
Francis is kind of borderline, anyways. I don't think he'll ever get in. I don't mind if he got in, because for a while Francis was, like, the most exciting guy in the sport, but I don't think he'll get in. All right, let's get some other guys here I had in the list. All right, let's go through this. So again, a lot of these are, like, let me ask you, Clay Guida. Does Clay Guida get in?
No.
I agree, no. Rafael dos Anjos, yes.
Probably, yes.
Okay. Do Bronx, yes.
Yes.
Okay, here's a question. Will they ever eventually start putting MMA agents who haven't fought in the UFC? No. But they can, because they had Pride. So they could put Fedor in. Actually, Fedor's a great question. Fedor.
Oh, 100%. If you do.
He'll never get in. He won't.
No, for sure he won't. But for sure he should.
He should be. He'll never get in. I would say probably never. Demetrius Johnson's a guy that probably should get in next year too, I was thinking.
He should have been in already.
It's crazy he hasn't gone in yet. I'm really surprised by this. Brock is another guy who should go in, yes.
No.
Brock's a yes? Oh,
for
come on.
No.
You're crazy.
No.
Brock's a 100% Hall of Famer.
No, he's a typical UFC plant, but he will get in. He will get in.
Randy Couture, he beat...
who gives a shit? Randy Couture was like 63 years old, man.
I think Brock's a lock. I mean, I'm surprised he's not in, to be
honest.
Yeah,
he will definitely be in, because Dana White sucks him off, but...
Speaking of UFC plants, Sean O'Malley, is he going to be Hall of Famer one day?
Oh, for sure, they're going to put him in. He shouldn't also be in, but he's going to put him in.
Israel Adesanya, 100%.
Yeah, he deserves to be in, yeah.
All right. These are like some of these are like locks. Brad Tavares, I say no.
No.
Yeah. Andrei Arlovsky, I say yes.
Yeah.
Luke Rockhold. I say no. What do you think?
He was also Strikeforce champion, right? Strikeforce and UFC champion, so maybe yes.
All right, maybe he's got a better case than I think, but probably not. I don't think the UFC even likes him. Chris Weidman, I think, would get in because he beat Anderson twice. Chris Weidman, yes or no?
Possible. Don't have to be for me, but possible. I don't mind.
Piotr Jan.
They probably won't, but I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, but the thing
He's
is,
better than Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's getting big now, though.
That's what she said.
TJ Dillashaw.
Yes.
Okay, I'm on the fence with TJ. Cody Garbrandt.
Yes.
These are like borderline for me. Davison, I'd say no. Moreno, I think, would probably get in.
Mm-hmm.
Kane gets in. Dana loves the guy. Eddie's going to be a no, unfortunately, even though he was the UFC champion. His career wasn't long enough in Zuffa. Connor's an automatic. He's getting in, obviously. Cejudo, yeah, he's a double champ. Yeah. Any double champ will get in. Usman Colby was a great fight. I was actually at that fight. It was an amazing fight. So I think those guys will get in. But I think Usman's a lock, right? Usman's a lock?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Colby, I think no, but the fight will probably get in. Mm-hmm. So, all right, let's keep going. Valentina is a lock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yuan is in already. Chris Cyborg.
She won't get in, but she deserves to be.
Dude, she should 100% be in. I mean, her Strikeforce fight should count, right?
Yeah, you know Dana don't like her, right?
I know. Leon Edwards, I'd say no. Leon, no?
For me, not, but...
You can't put every champion in, I don't think. I mean, maybe you could. I don't think so. Tim Sylvia.
Credentials, yes, but I don't think so. He was not really a popular guy.
Yeah, they didn't like him, but I think, if you look at it on paper, he's got a chance. Tyron Woodley, I say no as well, but I think he's got a chance. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely if he's going to rep again, yeah.
Chael should be in the Hall of Fame, but I mean, the fight's already in.
I don't think he should be.
Yeah.
I don't think Chael should be in the Hall of Fame at all, dude.
Okay, for his fights, for his record, sure, but I think like the way the buzz he created, the entertainment value, I think.
Why? That's not a thing to be in a Hall of Fame, in my opinion, man.
They make it up. There's no criteria, bro. You know this.
Yeah, but that sucks to put somebody in because he's funny. Then we could say like put Paulo Costa in.
Hey, let me ask you this: Derek Lewis, yes or no?
No.
He might end up with the most knockouts of all time.
Yeah, congrats.
Matt Brown, yes or no?
I like Matt, but I don't think so.
They need like another Hall of Fame, not like another Hall of Fame. They need the Journeyman or Gatekeeper Hall of Fame, don't they?
Yeah.
They need something else. Johnny Hendricks.
No.
Rose, yes.
Yes,
100%. Lock. Juliana Pena, two-time champion. Probably gets and tough champion.
Aspar's as well.
Okay, they'll get in. Raquel Pennington.
No.
Please don't put her in. Please don't. You didn't watch Tough last night, so her and Rose were the guests. Every week they're doing a new former Tough fighter to bring in. It was Raquel, and then they showed the fight with Mayra Bueno. They're like, she dominated Mayra Bueno Silva in Toronto to win the belt. Like, don't fucking remind me. This fight was shit.
Who's going to be next week? War Machine.
It's no, dude.
Robert Whittaker. I saw
I remember who it is. I can't remember.
Whittaker.
They had like Brandon Moreno last week. Matt Serra was on it. Matt Serra's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. Andrade I think she's going to get in. I think Andrade.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Anthony Pettis. That's an interesting one. Maybe they put the fight with Benson in because I think that would be the best way to put them both in.
Yeah.
Benson in, right?
Yeah,
because I think Benson's another kind of on the fence, right? Frankie Edgar, yes or no?
Yes, 100%.
Yes, 100%. Stephen Thompson.
No.
I'd say no as well. Mike Goldberg should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Him and Joe should go in probably together, I would think. Yeah. John Anik should go in the Hall of Fame too, probably, I would think. Bisping's in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. Yoel Romero, I say no.
No.
I don't think they're going to put coaches in, Zach, but it'd be interesting they did do a wing because then you'd have like Ray Longo, you'd have
you should put Greg Jackson in as well.
Greg Jackson would probably, even though Dana hates him. What's the guy from Aldo? What's his name? Pedinaris. He could be in.
Andrew Pedinaris. Yeah.
There's a lot of guys.
Jason Perillo.
Yeah, I mean, any of these guys could be.
What's the coach of Gaethje?
Yeah, Trevor Whitman. Marcel Dorf's a lock, right?
No, that can't. Fuck it.
That picture's so funny. David Bastarat, that's hilarious. Oh yeah, Whitaker Romero. Whitaker, I think gets in. Whitaker.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Rampage Jackson, I'd say yes too. I'm surprised he's not in. He was a champion. He had a good career.
Yeah.
Rampage should be. You're saying no to Rampage or yes?
I say yeah.
Okay. Fabricio Verdum is an interesting one.
I think 100% should.
I think he should be in too. I don't know if the UFC thinks about him though. That's the thing. It's sad to say this, right? Like I think they really should have the media vote on this.
He should be more in than Brock.
Based on his credentials, probably. I mean, he beat Fedor. He also won the UFC belt. He beat Kane. JDS is a lock, right? JDS?
I think so too.
Machida's a lock. I'm surprised he's not in it either. Individual knockouts, yeah. I mean, this is a good question too. Like Valentina versus I. Imagine they put that in. Marcel talked about this. They should have like a moment swing, right? Best moments of all time. You said. The Edson Barboza fight could go. Okay, actually, Barboza is he a Hall of Famer? Edson Barboza.
This is the thing is if you put Cowboy in the Hall of Fame, you can put Barboza in the Hall of Fame as well.
I think the fight with Terry Adams, but then Terry Adams is a Hall of Famer. Then it's
don't you have other Barboza fights you can put in?
There's got to be something that's like a more exciting fight. But I mean,
that's Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson, is he Hall of Famer? Yes.
I think so.
Yes. I say yes. Joseph Benavidez, yes or no?
Yes.
I say yes. Keep throwing some names out there, guys. I'm really enjoying this discussion. Let me guys do this one. Angela Hill, yes or no?
No.
I'd say no as well.
I like Angela a lot, by the way. But no.
Darren Elkins, no?
No. It's a little bit of the same spot as Angela Hill for me.
All right. Give us some more names. OSP.
No.
Nope. Henan Barao. That's an interesting one. He fell off so hard, bro.
Yeah, but I put him in.
Yeah, if you do individual knockout, then you'd have fucking Buckley in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah, JL gets a stiffy thinking about that.
Moreno, I think is yes. Figgy, I'd say, I don't know about Figgy. I'm not sure. Maybe. He's a maybe. I think Moreno's more of a Hall of Famer, personally. All right. Let's see. Let's go with some more names here. There's got to be some names I missed. Cheeto Vera.
No.
Glover. Oh, yeah, we forgot about Glover. Glover has to go in, right? Glover?
Yeah.
I think he's a lock. I think he's getting in, personally. Maybe a lock's too strong, actually, but I would put his fight with Yuri in. The fight with Yuri should be in. Maybe that's
the best let's do it that way. In. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Jan should be in, right? Jan?
Maybe. I don't think it's like that decisive.
Faber's in the Hall of Fame already. Uriah Faber, he's in it.
Yeah, he is in it.
All right, let's go through some more names here. Max Holloway's a lock, right?
Yeah.
Dustin's a lock?
Yeah.
Here's a good one for you. Damian Maia. I say yes.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Why not? I mean, he had what? Does he have like the most submissions, maybe? Or
I mean, he was a good fighter. He was a good fighter. He was a technician on the ground. But why should he be in the Hall of Fame? I don't see it.
I personally really liked watching him fight, but I mean, I know a lot of people didn't. But I think he had the longest win streak of submissions in UFC history. Look at his wins: Chael Sonnen, John Fitch is a pretty good win. Neil Magny, Carlos Condit. Actually, how about this one? Carlos Condit. Thoughts?
If you count also the WEC, then maybe yes. And he should have won the title against Robbie Lawler. In my opinion.
I thought so too. I think Carlos is definitely interesting. I think he's kind of like borderline, but I'd say yes. Jorge Masvidal.
No.
He might get in. Campbell McLaren. He probably should be in the Hall of Fame as a builder. Would you agree?
Yeah, he should be.
I will say this though, like, yeah, I mean, if they're going to induct one builder a year, they probably should. Well, then, yeah, against Fertitta's going to be in. Dana. I mean,
R. Davey is in. So
yeah. Sean Shelby, Hall of Famer.
Probably.
Yeah. Mick Maynard, Dana.
But only if he can be inducted by some heavyweights.
Do you think Mick will get in the Hall of Fame though?
Of course.
Sean should be for sure though. I mean, let's be honest.
And what about Joe Silva? Is he in the Hall of Fame?
He is, yeah. I agree with you though. I mean, we're saying yes to too many guys that it's like, you can't say yes to everyone, right? Yeah. So, but then again, true, you say yes to Figgy, and I'm on the fence about him. You know what I mean? So
I'm 50-50 on him. I'm also not sure.
Korean Zombie?
No. I like him a lot, but no.
You could probably put the fight with Leonard Garcia, but then Leonard Garcia is a Hall of Famer, right? That's the problem. That's why I hate that they did.
You can put the Korean Zombie with Poirier in that fight.
Yeah, you could do that. Poirier's going to go by himself, though.
Yeah, but whatever. Put him in with the fight.
So Rory's in for the fight already with Robbie. I wouldn't induct Rory on his own, and I love Rory. Yeah.
Enough Canadians already.
Bruce announcing the Mongolian murder for the first time. Who's a Mongolian murderer again?
Isn't that Aruchi Lang?
Oh, that'd be funny. Oh, Buffer for sure, 100%,
Yeah. Oh
120%.
yeah, yeah.
This is another one I was thinking about too. I was going to ask you, Joe Lozon.
No.
So this is tricky because again, you talk about if Jim Miller's going to get in, why isn't Joe going to get in? You know what I
No,
mean?
Jim is gonna get in by you. I didn't say
Yeah,
Jim should get in.
I
So
think Jim's. I think
we're
Jim's getting
different.
in. Joe's a great fighter. Joe is some of the most bonuses of all time, but he's Joe's probably a no, and I love Joe. There's probably a way to get it
Me
in
too.
for one of his fights or something. Condit without WC goes in with fight with Lawler. Yeah, I agree. The fight with Lawler should be in for sure. The fight with Johnny Hendricks was good too. The fight with GSP was pretty good too. Ken Flo.
No.
Oof.
And I like Kenny a lot. But the thing is, we're going like Drew says, we're going to the list of.
This is like, yeah, I agree. This is Kenny's he's like under the borderline for me. He never won a belt, but he's a big name in the UFC for a long time, man, and he's still part of the sport.
But
I like Kenny, so
Brian Stan was also, but he also shouldn't be in.
I would love to see Brian stand in, but he's not going to get in. But yeah, Kenny, I don't mind if Kenny got in. I don't mind it.
I also don't mind it.
But he's borderline. He really is. Brian Stan's going to be a no for me, even though I love Brian, but I don't think he did enough. Oh, I mean, this is a lock. Hamdi Abdulwahab, he's a lock. He's already going to go in next week, right?
What, in you or in the Hall of Fame?
Shut up. So Dana's already talked about this. Tough season 1. Dana wants the whole cast to go in, right, Marcel?
Yeah, but 2 guys already passed away, right?
Canadian guy, didn't he?
Loden Sincate, he died, and another guy. I don't know who anymore.
Diego should go in the Hall of Fame. I mean,
Yeah.
Actually, he is. I think his fight with is it with Clay
With Guida, yeah, of course.
Oh, so Guida is in the Hall of Fame. Fuck.
Yeah, with the fight.
Yeah, Guida by himself, no. But I think Diego on his own could actually get in the Hall of Fame. He was one of the biggest names, dude. Dan Hardy's never getting in. Dana hates him. He's not going in the Hall of Fame. Aldo's already in. Aldo's in, brother.
Yeah.
Paul, what's up, man? Glad to have you here. You know what? This is a good point. I like this one. TKZ versus Yair.
Yeah.
Yep, that gets them both in.
Although I don't think it was a great fight. I think TKC dominated him.
Yeah. Until that knockout. Bilal, I would say no. Bilal? No.
Probably.
Jake Shields? No. That's a no. Heavy no.
I also don't think so.
You're on the fence? Okay.
Nah, because he was a Strikeforce champ, but I don't think it's enough.
Strickland, he has some big wins, but I'd say no. DDP, though, I think would get in. DDP,
Strickland only gets in if he doesn't come to the ceremony.
Strickland's not going. They're not going to bring it. They're not going to embarrass themselves. I like Sean, though. I mean, if he got in, whatever, I don't think he will. Charles is a lock. Bonner, yeah. Overeem.
No. Not going to happen.
All those fights in Pride and Strikeforce, though.
Dana never dealt with him, I think, because Dana was upset that he was like at the 13 times testosterone level, and then after that Brock fight.
Yeah, and Bonner died, by the way.
Yeah, Man, I named the guy who was more unknown who died, and I forgot the guy who was pretty much one of the most famous guys.
And my bad, I actually read it wrong. He says Aljo. Sorry, guys. My bad. Aljo, oof.
I think he should, but I don't think he gets.
I mean, the fact that he didn't give him an immediate title shot, I think that
says enough.
He's not getting in. My bad. Sorry about that. John Fitch, no. John Fitch is not getting in. Dana hates him. That's the thing. It sucks they were saying this. Like, Dana, whoever Dana doesn't like, if you're on Dana's shit list, you're not getting in. Air Hawani, no. I mean, no. I mean, if they ever did a journal, why would they do a journalist wing? I mean, there could be like that. I mean, they have the MMA Journalists Association. Actually, it's interesting because I think baseball does bring in the writers. If I'm not mistaken, they do like the broadcasters and stuff.
Dana hates the journalists.
Dana hates Ariel, but I mean, if he ever did a Hall of Fame, obviously, but they would never do it.
Who would Dana put in from the journalists? If you
Sean Morgan, Kevin Iole.
Yeah. Oscar Willis.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some original journalists we're forgetting about, but probably doesn't like these guys. Thiago Alves, no. Justin Gaethje, yes.
On the fence.
Really, I put him in. I think he's one of the most exciting guys of all time. I think the fight with Max could go in. I think the fight with Michael Johnson actually should go in. That gets them both in because Michael Johnson is another guy that he shouldn't go in, but he has such a great career too. So the fight with Michael Johnson was incredible. I know you like that fight. Actually, you could put Eddie Alvarez and Justin Gaethje too. That was another good fight too.
True.
Tony is. I would say Tony's a yes. Tony's a yes for me. Marcel.
Yeah.
would not be the right thing to do. Yeah, Mike Goldberg. Someone asked already, lazy bet. I'd say yes.
You see, like Mike Goldberg, and then the UFC has the advertisement. Congratulations, Bill Goldberg.
That's funny. Greatest most overrated fighter of all time, Ankalaev. There you go, Marcel.
Yeah, suck on this.
He's not going in, dude. Dana hates the guy. I mean, let's be honest. Dana despises him, man. He still hates him for that Brock Lesnar thing. But I mean, you talk about like, people did a lot for the sport. Obviously, heroes did a lot. Carl Parisian, no. Nina Drama. That's someone Dana's going to put in. Dana's going to put her in. The Shmo. Yeah, it's getting a little ridiculous now. Okay. Daniel Cormier. I don't think he's in yet. He should go in soon.
Oh, he will be in. Yeah.
Yeah, he obviously. Topuria, yes. All right, let's keep going down some other names. All right,
Joe Rogan, yes.
Rogan, yes. All right, let's go through some other names. All right. I think it's interesting to talk about women though, because we haven't mentioned many of them. Weili Zhang, yes or no?
I always thought that you prefer to talk about men, but yeah, okay. Weili Zhang, yes.
Okay, I put her in too. There's not a ton of like women's fighters that like really are in contention. I think does Kayla go in? I mean, maybe if she wins a few more fights, I don't know. I mean, the PFL fights don't count. So, Misha Tate, yes or no? Misha, yes, right?
Probably.
Yeah, Misha's gonna go in. There's so few women in the Hall of Fame. It's kind of sad actually. Vicente Luque, I'd say no about him.
You say there are so less women and they stuck with Vicente Luque. Like
I know. It's funny. There's not a lot. I'm looking at the list of like, because if you look at like most finishes and stuff, it's like Jillian Robertson. It's like a no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Gerald Mershart, no. Alexandra Pantoja.
Of course.
Yeah. Jermaine Durandamy.
No.
Nico Montano.
No.
Colby's a no for me, Paul. Keep throwing names out, guys. Keep throwing names out. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think we've mentioned like most people we should mention, to be honest with you. Let's see here. There might be a few I'm missing. We mentioned most of the big names, Marcel, that aren't in it yet. Talked about Yair already. Finishes. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull this up. List of.
What about Josh Barnett?
Why? Because you took a picture with him once?
No, no.
Josh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like Josh.
Yeah, he got caught for stuff, when he was a title.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He lost his belt, didn't he? Yeah. I don't think so. I like Josh, though. I think he's a good
Me too.
Natalia Silva, yeah, of course. Yeah, Rockhold is a borderline for me, Paul. RDA is a yes. Payne is a yes. All right, let's go through this, too. All right, let me ask you some other names. Okay, let me go down.
Yushin Okami.
Thunder? No, I mean, I like Thunder, but no. All right, women fighters. Gomi? Takanori Gomi? Yeah, because if you include Pride, he should be, right?
Exactly.
Then again, I put Charles Bennett in, too. Just joking. Remember that fight where Charles jumped on top of the corner?
Yeah.
All right. We've mentioned again a lot of names here. Alexa Grosso.
Yeah, maybe to help the Mexican.
She'll probably get in.
Yeah.
Holly Holm is a yes too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Holly.
Michelle Watterson.
No. I know you like her, but no. She's not getting in. Induction agents get eggheaded in. Fuck that.
Sorry?
No, someone in the comments, lazy bet, he said get egghead in. Paul Boontello, the headhunter? No. But Neil
Don't
Darius,
fear me. Fear. Come on.
Darius, no. Dan Hooker, no. All right, let's keep going. I'll get some other guys for you. We mentioned a lot of the fighters that should be in. Dominic Cruz, yes.
Yeah, sure.
We didn't mention him yet. Any Gracies left? Henzo Gracie? Henzo, yes or no?
No.
Okay.
And I like Henzo, don't get me wrong.
Volk, yes, we didn't mention him. This is crazy. We haven't mentioned some of the all-time greats, which is
yeah, but those are like automatically for me.
Yeah, true. No, you're right. I agree.
Well, Herb Dean, interesting. Yeah, if Dana has to say it, probably.
They should probably put some refs in, to be honest, the officials. Herb Dean would go in. What's the Canadian guy? Yves Levine, put him in.
Big John.
Big John would obviously. Big John should go in the Hall of Fame too. I mean, let's
Yeah.
be honest. He should win. Oh, Josh Thompson.
No.
Yeah. Jason Herzog, maybe. Hoyson, these guys are in the Hall of Fame, true. I mean, they were like the original guys.
Yeah.
These guys were inducted 20 years ago, man. What the fuck?
Those old glass octagons they had.
True.
Right?
What rock you living under, brother?
True was our age. When
I know, True. How could you forget that, man? No, Brian stands on in, but as a commentator, I mean, that would be the way to get him in, right? I think Brian was a great commentator. Pat Miltich is in the Hall of Fame, although he probably should be stripped after all this shit he's been doing lately.
Dan Jones should never be in the Hall of Fame,
True.
you know.
No, I agree. Carlos Newton, the Canadian.
He's Canadian, right? No. I'm just kidding. I have no problem with it. I always like Carlos Newton.
Carlos is a good dude. I think he's probably it'd probably be a no, but
I mean, if you put Maurice Smith in it, then you also can put Carlos Newton in it.
they got to start inducting more of these pioneer type fighters. I think you know.
And Kevin Randleman is also in it. So.
Yeah. Alex Pereira, yes.
Yeah.
Chris Lieben, yes.
No.
The whole cast, right? I think the whole cast will get in. And Chris could go in as like a referee and a judge too. I mean, he's did it all, so he'll probably get in one day. Izzy's an automatic one. We've mentioned a lot of champions. Here's a few champions. Middleweight division's a division we haven't talked about much. So
Rich Franklin, yes,
he's in already. He's in.
Yeah. That's why I said yes.
Yeah. Dave Manet, no. Aurelio Bustamante, no.
Probably not.
Evan Tanner, is he in actually? Is Evan?
I don't know.
Dana loves him.
Yeah.
I would say no for Evan too. I know he died in like really terrible conditions. Joking aside, let's go to like heavyweight here. Big Ank.
No, right now not.
Okay. Jamal Hill? No.
No.
Glover, we said yes. I think. Oh, I said yes.
You said yes.
I like the fight with I like the fight with Yuri getting in. I think that fight should be in. That should probably be in like next.
Yeah, bro. I also like John Dallas Reyes against Rodan Sangachan, but it's never going to be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, but dude, that was literally one of the best fights of all time. You know it's. Shogun, we didn't mention him. Yes.
Yes.
Dominic Reyes, no.
Wanderlei Silva.
He's in.
Is he in? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course he is in. Yeah, what I'm talking
about. Fuck. Tito's in already. Yeah, Tito's in.
Yeah.
Tom Aspinall. Too early?
Right now, not, but probably in the future.
Cyril Gone.
No.
Okay. Again, I'm going through all the champions now. Francis. See, I probably would put Francis in, but Dana won't.
Yeah, Dana that's won't. What I think. Yeah.
Stipe's yes. DC for Doom. I think for Doom probably. Now that I look at it, you probably should go in. To be honest with you. Kane yes. JDS 100%. Shane Carwin.
No.
Rumble Johnson. Does he go in?
No.
I wouldn't be surprised. Dana likes him. Rico Rodriguez.
No.
Rico Suave. Josh Barnett. Yeah, I'm looking at the heavyweight champs. He's right there, Marcel.
Mm-hmm.
Randleman's in. Bruton's in. A lot of the original champions are in. That's pretty much it. We mentioned all the champions now. We mentioned them all. So,
Rodrigo Nogueira is also in, right?
He's in.
Yeah.
What about Little Nog? No.
No.
Little Nog, no. Tristan asked. Gustafson. Well, the fight with Jones is in the Hall of Fame, so that's already in. So Gustafson, technically, he's a Hall of Famer, Paul. That's the best he's going to. He's not going to get.
I wouldn't put him as a single in.
Keith Jardine.
No.
Are you going to put his wife in too? What's his wife's name again?
Oh, Jody Escribel, right?
Her in too?
No.
No, Keith. No. Dana loves him, but he's not going in. Sam Alvey. Nope. Although Dana, what's his name? Sean Shelby has his way. Or who does the matchmaking for middleweight again? Is it Mick?
I think it's Mick here.
Yeah, if it has Mick's way, then he gets in. Anthony Smith is a big no for me. He's a no.
No, I like Anthony, but I already thought that his
that was ridiculous.
That was a little bit too much in my opinion.
I was waiting for the balloons to fall to the rafters, dude. Like, for God's sake, it was so over the top. And you messaged me, you're like, Adam, this is a bit over the top. I know. Like, I don't remember everyone else getting that kind of send off. Again, he works for them though, so whatever. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. I did, Antoine. Thanks for asking. Thanks for saying that, man. Thanks for asking, dude. Appreciate that.
He was even thinking about you, Antoine.
Antoine's a good dude. I was. Antoine, I was telling Marcel like when I was getting out that there was 3 planes side by side. It was me in the middle, Toronto. The next one was Atlanta. I was thinking about you, and then Amsterdam. I was thinking about Marcel and all that weed that he smoked. So, McCaniel's that big fat no. Here's a good one. Or 2 top 10 or below. Do you think we'll ever having Hall of Fame career? Oh, that's a good question, actually. Hold on, let me get these other ones for Imanari. I mean, you could put some of these like legends potentially. The thing is, we talk about the UFC mostly. Let me look at something else. I'm gonna, Paul. I'll answer your question in 1 minute. I'm gonna pull the rankings up so I don't forget. But you know what I want to do, Marcel?
What?
I want to look at the list of Pride champions because we should do that. That's what I forgot to do.
Mizuno or Kazuo Misaki. Okay,
so Big Nog, yes. Fedor should be in. Dan Henderson should be in. Wanderley's in. Gomi, you said should be in, right?
Yeah.
How about Igor Vovchanchin? Ice Cold was his name?
No.
I loved him, dude.
Me too.
So awesome. How many knockouts did he have? He had 56-10 record, 41 knockouts. Jesus. Man, I'd love to see him in. Sokaju's a no. Antoine met James. Yeah, we'll meet you for sure. All right. Ricardo Arona's a no. Hayato Max Sakurai.
No, he also fought in the UFC. He wasn't amazing there, I think.
Krokop.
Title there.
Mirko Krokop.
Could be. Name value, was a big threat, was one of the best heavyweights on the Pride time, had a big hype when he came to the UFC, then got head kicked by
I'd put him in. Personally. Yeah. I'd put him in. Bob Sapp, no. Mark Hunt, no. Dana hates him. But the fight with Bigfoot is in the Hall of Fame, I think, right? Bigfoot and Hunt. Let me check. List. UFC Hall. I think the fight with Bigfoot's in, isn't it? Mark Hunt? It's not. Okay, Bigfoot versus Hunt should be in the Hall of Fame. I think you'd agree with me with that, right?
I'm cool with that, yeah.
Gegard Mousasi, I would put him in. I would put Gegard in it. Dan Henderson was one of the first ones I talked about, Tristan. I think his fight with Shogun's in. He should be himself. Gegard, you're on the fence about?
I don't think they put him in. I don't mind if they do it.
Strike Force counts too.
Yeah, I still don't think they do.
Michael Chandler, no. Marcel, no.
No.
Bob Sapp, no. Gilbert Burns, I think his fight with Hamza could go in. I think that's maybe the way he goes.
I think we put in way too many guys in the Hall of Fame, dude, who are just like good fighters, but not like amazing,
I don't think Gilbert should go in, but I think the fight with Hamza could go in.
Yeah, but there are so many. Listen, almost every guy in the UFC had one amazing fight, so then we can put
that was like fight of the year though for a lot of people. So
yeah, no,
the Cheetah's not in, Paul, to answer you, but he could go in. Glenn, what's up, man? Glad to have you. Hit the button for Glenn if you have it. Roof. I agree with you. We've said yes to a lot of people, and they're not going to all go in.
Normally, you only say yes to the dress, right?
Oh man, you bastard! All right. Oh, this one list of Strikeforce champions. Let's go through Strikeforce really quick too, because that counts. Okay, Overeem. I think he should go in. Marcel says no. I forgot Overeem won that tournament too. He also won that. Or he didn't win that tournament. Sorry, who was the guy who won the tournament? Jorge Santiago. Remember him? Jorge Santiago won that one-night tournament. Yeah, he's not going in.
He lost to Fei Zhao, right?
Yeah. Fei Zhao, no. By the way, Fei Zhao was on juice. Hanato Sobral, I'll say no. Babalu, no.
Dude, he got how do you say that? Cut from the UFC because he held a choke too long.
They hate that dude. No. Bobby Southworth, no. King Mo, no.
Remember Bobby Southworth, that with Dana, the Ultimate Fighter, that he was like, I don't need a pep talk from you, Dana. Dana was bad.
Kong Lee could be in, but because the whole lawsuit, he's never going in.
No.
Oh, here's one we didn't mention: Jacare Souza.
I don't think so, but he deserves it probably.
I love him, but he probably won't get in. But I think I would put him in, but he won't get in. A few other guys: Nate Marquardt, no. I'd say Nate, no for Nate.
Tarek Safadi,
no for Tarek. Gilbert Melendez, we didn't mention.
He should be in. Although his record in the UFC is very bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's 1-5, I think, or 1-6.
And he should have won against.
Oh, the fight with Diego, could go in too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but he should have won against Henderson as well, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. Pedro Rizzo, I'd say no.
He got screwed over as well in that fight against Couture. I think he won, but yeah.
Yeah. Jason Mayhem Miller, no. Tim Kennedy, no.
Uriah Faber is in already.
Sarah Kaufman, Canadian.
No.
Marloes Kunin. I put you in the spot, motherfucker. There we go.
I think
Of course you're gonna say yes.
probably she should be, but I don't think they will.
Like I said, there's not many women in the Hall of Fame. Marloes is a pioneer, but she didn't fight in the UFC, so I think that will kind of they probably won't put her in. I think we've gotten most of the ones. I love Strikeforce, by the way. I thought it was such a good promotion. You liked it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Isn't there another? Oh, WEC we're forgetting. That's the other one. WEC.
We have the Diaz brought us there, so yeah.
Yeah. Eddie Wineland.
Eddie Wineland, no. Also, Brian Stan got a WEC belt, right? So yeah.
He did. Brian Bowles, no. Miguel
Torres, he should be. Yeah.
He won't. He could be because he won 40 fights in a row, didn't he?
Yeah. It's crazy.
He was great, dude.
What about Ket Yamamoto?
Dana likes him. I know they like him in the UFC, but no, I'd say no. Chase Beebe, no. Again, I'm going through all the champions. How about Mike Brown? Mike Brown is also a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah, they can do that. Yeah.
Mike Brown should be in as a coach, I think. Cole Escovedo, no. Although he had a fun fight in the UFC with Caceres, I think.
Yeah.
Jamie Varner, no. I mean, the WC champs are kind of weak, man, to be honest. A lot of the early ones. Ron McCullough, Hermes Franca, that scumbag, no. Gabe Rudiger, no. Kurt Pellegrino, I forgot Kurt Pellegrino was a champion in WC.
Can you remember Olaf Alfonso?
Yeah, he got destroyed. He got brutally knocked out, right?
He got that nose that's so completely bent.
Yeah, Shoney Carter. Shoney Carter's
international.
The double knockout. Remember that fight? The two guys knock each other out, and Shoney's like, "What?" Remember that?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And the crazy dance when he knocked out Matt Serra.
Yeah. Mike Pyle, no. I'm looking at I forgot Mike Pyle. I forgot some of these guys were champions. WC. Joe Riggs, no. Paul Filio, no. Chris Lieben, I think, is on the fence. Brian Stan, I mean, you don't love the guy, but no. Steve Cantwell, no. Steve Cantwell could not fight well in the UFC. Doug Marshall, the Rhino, remember him? No.
Yeah.
Logan Cicade, you talked about him. He passed away, right? Scott Hansen, Steel Smith, no. Jason Lambert, no. Richard Montoya, no. Again, these are all like WC champs. James Irvin, no. Brian Nelson, no. Mike Sir, I don't even know who that is, to be honest with you. I don't know who that is. Mike Sir, he was a heavyweight champion. I don't know who that is. Mike Kyle, I remember. He's not going to get in.
Oh, he's the guy with the DQs, right?
Yeah, remember Ron H2O Waterman? He won the super heavyweight title. Rodriguez for the super heavyweight belt in 2003.
He kind of looked like that Michelin guy with
That's pretty much it. Poppies Martinez. I'm looking. They win the North American American title.
Didn't he always dressed up like some Mexican? How do you say that dress? Poppies Martinez.
Brandon Vera. No. These aren't even close. All right, let's go through. I missed a bunch. Let me ask you guys in the chat. Liz Carmouche is probably no, but the fight with Ronda could go in.
It's in already, right?
The fight with Ronda's in? Maybe.
No, she's already in.
What?
Yeah.
Liz?
Yeah, Uriah.
Oh, fuck. I knew you were going to make a joke, but I couldn't think what it was.
Jesus.
All right, let's answer this question. Biggest fumble in UFC history, Jones? Probably, I'd say Fedor and Lesnar, right?
I'd say Anderson Silva, GSP.
Because I was in Montreal. Anderson was in the crowd when he beat Condit. They panned to him. They were going to do that fight and they never did it, so it's a good one. Koscheck probably, yeah. I mean, the whole cast should be. We forgot to mention him by name. Cub Swanson's a no for me. Mark Munoz is a no. Mike Brown, as a fighter, I don't know. I mean, he didn't do enough in the UFC, but he was a WC champ, so I don't know. Leonard Garcia should have beaten Max Holloway. He got robbed in that fight.
Bad boy.
Yeah, bad boy. Jeff Monson, no. Snowman. Gono, no. James Irwin, no. Irvin, no. Yeah, no. Michael McDonald, no. Yeah, these guys aren't even close. Ricardo Lamas, I liked him, but no. I love Scott Smith, dude. He had so many fucking good fights, didn't he, Marcel? Scott Hands of Stone Smith.
I'm waiting for somebody. Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody seeing Krzysztof Suszynski.
Yeah, the Polish experiment. What about my boy, Sam Stout? Hands of Steel. He had like 10 fight of the nights.
They can put his fight against Spencer Fisher, one of them.
They should. They probably should, actually. Good call. Yeah. And you know what? Mark Hominick versus Aldo, I think could get in. Yeah? Yeah, I think so. Is Luke a Hall of Famer? Marcel said yes. I'm saying no. But you say yes, right?
Rockhold, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, yeah.
I was thinking about.
He has some good wins, man. He beat Weidman. He beat Jacare. He beat Bisping. He has some good wins. Yeah, maybe Ferguson, Khabib. Yeah, Pettis is not in though. We're forgetting anyone else, guys. Oh, I want to answer Paul's question. So Paul asked us if we could project anyone in the UFC that's like kind of lower ranked guys right now that could get in the Hall of Fame. Well, I mean, honestly, he just got ranked number 1, but last week Josh Van was number 12. If he keeps going at this pace, he'll get in because he'll have like 100 wins. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy to say that he could be. He's on the Hall of Fame path, I guess. Is there anyone you could think of right now that's like a lower ranked guy that could get in? John Silva. John Silva, could he be a guy? He's ranked number 10.
Hoofy.
I mean, these guys. It's so hard to say. I mean,
But yeah, But he asks, so
yeah,
I mean,
he asked the question. It's so early, but it's Zhang Min Yang maybe.
Natalia Silva.
Reiner de Raider, I mean, maybe if he's fucking amazing, if he's that good, maybe. Yeah, okay. Let me ask you this. You're gonna laugh, but I'm gonna ask you anyways. Ranked number 14 right now at welterweight. You know who I'm asking about. Is he getting in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, Prata, so who was 14?
No.
Who's 14?
You know who I'm talking about. Your favorite fighter.
Buckley.
No, the other one.
Gary.
No, the other one. The one who fought Buckley. Dude, the guy who gets a bonus check written for him before the fight starts.
Kevin Holland.
Is he going in?
Yeah, they probably could
have. It's crazy he is. He's going in. I yanked my computer screen. He's going in. Marcel's going to fucking hate it.
Yeah, you too.
He doesn't deserve it, dude. Not at all. But he's the one guy right now, honestly, Paul, he probably is the one guy ranked in that bottom half that would get in. I'm just looking at else. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of that's the one. That's the one. Misha Tate also is ranked number 13. She's going to get in. So we actually answered your question because I think Misha's a lock for sure. And
what about Brian Caraway?
No,
I think he got in. He got in.
Yeah, he got in for sure for years, and then she left him for that guy. What's his name? Johnny
Nunes. Yeah.
PFL guy. PFL cast off. If JMB's Islam, he's locked. I agree with this actually.
A lock.
If he beats Islam, then again, wait. Is that guy in? Adriano Martins? Is he in?
No, he's not.
Coaches? Oh, yeah, sorry. There's a question about True. This is a good question. Hall of Fame gyms. Yeah, you'd have to put like American Top Team. You'd put the Militich Fighting Systems. You'd put
Lions Den.
You'd put Jackson Wink. You'd put my favorite, the one I love. What's it called? The new name, Killcliff.
I think about Jimmy Crute. Stewie Steakhouse. What's this gym where he's training out? sounds like a restaurant or something.
I know. Black Stallions. That's Zach. That's the one back in the day. I mean, there's other gyms that we're thinking about. Like, I think they should eventually, open it up to more things, coaches and.
Then it went from Black Cillians to Combat Club. Then it was like Hard Knocks 365. Then it went to Sanford, and then it was
Sanford. That's what I was thinking about for some reason. Yeah, Sanford MMA, but it's called Killcliff FC now. Anyways, I think we've probably named over 100 fighters here, and the reality is it'll probably be like a third of them getting in. So a lot of these borderline ones are probably not going to get in. Here's a good question from Glenn. Where do we see Jones next few years? I retire, rehab, jail, or morgue? Dude, honestly, the way his life's going, dude, he's gonna like crash his car and get killed in a car accident or something. I don't know. Love Jon Jones as a fighter, as a person. He's not a good guy. But here's the thing: I keep saying, I want to say like I hope the best for the guy myself, but like this is a guy that never learns. You know what I mean? I don't think he cares. He just has money, he does whatever he wants. So I don't know. Our BFF champs lost to get in. To be honest, probably the BFF, the four guys that have held the belt are probably going to get in, or the three guys, Gaethje, Holloway, Gaethje, Holloway, and Corey probably get in. Cliff Jinx are good, not Hall of Fame worthy. Fair enough. All right, I think we're good, Marcel. Is there anything else you want to tell me, or are you good?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think we had a really good discussion here, guys. So appreciate everyone joining us, but we're getting the show. We'll talk to you guys later. We're back Sunday, actually, this Sunday. So 7:30, we'll do the UFC national preview. We'll do fight announcements on Sunday as well. And to answer the last question, Masvidal, I think yes. Marcel says no. So there you go.